welcome everyone to the Electrical Coaches channel, and I'm back again at the game table. And as you can see around here, I got some figures laid on the table again. I received some more figures in the mail, and I had to do another inventory. Well, right after I finished that inventory, I proceeded to decal my new Elliott figure. This is the figure that you saw in the previous video that I told you about. And I promised in that video that the next video would be my decaling this figure. Well, to save time, I had already started decaling it, okay? I'm going to finish decaling the figure in this video. The only decals I haven't put on yet is the jersey number in the front and the jersey number in the back. Applying the decals is the same. You dip a decal in the water, it slides off the backing sheet, and you lay the decal onto the surface of the figure. All right, I'm going to show you this figure close up momentarily, but I just want to give you a little bit of a background of what's going on here. All right, I want to show you the tools that I intend to use, and the chemicals I need to use to finish these decals. All right, of course you see right here, this is the decal sheet. You'll see the number 21 is here. That's the number for Ezekiel Elliott. That's the jersey number right here. All right, and up here, these are the white numbers for the blue jerseys, and these are numbers for the white jerseys. And these are the pant stripes, and these stripes here is for the shoulders. All right. And I'm going to cut that number 21 off of that sheet, and I'm going to apply that for you in this video. We also have a bottle of solver set. Okay. This solver set is used for finishing the decal. When you apply the decal using the water, you put the solver set on, and that's what helps the decal to conform to the surface of the figure. Without this solver set, your decal will lay down with the water, but it won't adhere securely to the figure. In about maybe a couple of hours or maybe a day, the decal will dry out and it will lift off the figure. So the solver set is very important to use here. All right. The other chemical that we use, this is a coating. This coating here is it leaves a matte finish. There is a gloss coating that some coaches use, but I'm going to use a matte finish because I don't like gloss colors on my entire figure. With this matte finish coating, it took some of the luster out of the helmet and the pants on my cowboy figure. All right. So if you remember in the previous video, I showed you the ice blue pants. They had like a sheen to them, and the helmet, the silver in the helmet shined a little bit. Well, this matte finish, it reduced that sheen a little bit, but that's okay. See, this matte finish is important because what that does is when you put that over your decals after you solver set the decal, the matte finish, it seals the decal to the figure, because what will happen over time if you don't use this clear coat, be it gloss or matte finish, okay? If you don't use that clear coat, the decal will lift away from the figure. It takes about 1.5 years. I have a figure here that I I did a long time ago, about a year and a half ago. This is my Nick Bosa figure from the 49ers. This 49er, as well as my other 49ers, I didn't use the clear coat. I just used the solver set on the decals. And some of those decals are now drying out, and they're lifting off of the figure. You see? And some of the decals have ripped, have torn, they cracked. Because this clear coat, I didn't apply any clear coat to it. So it took about a year and a half for some of those decals on my 49ers to begin lifting away from the figure. So initially, if you don't use it, going back to the solver set, if you don't use the solver set, you'll be able to apply the decal, but in about maybe a day or two of not using the solver set, the decal will dry out and lift away. All right, and then a year and a half later, if you don't use, maybe a year later, a year and a half, if you don't use this matte finish, the decal will lift away. So you need both of these chemicals, but basically to help your decals to stay on your figure. All right, and I'm going to show you that in the video. All right, tools that I'm going to use. I'm going to use my goggles here, my magnifying goggles. I'll be using these offline because we're going to be under the microscope, so I don't need to use these under the microscope, but there's going to be periods where I have to leave the microscope to do some adjustments, and these goggles are going to be needed. I also have a pair of mini scissors. I need these to cut the decal off the sheet. I have a pair of tweezers here. Yes, you need tweezers when handling these decals, especially the very tiny decals, all right? You can't use your fingers handling these decals. I have a rubber pencil, all right, that I intend to use to help me move the decal into position on the figure, okay? And I have a Q-tip. I may be using a couple of these. One end of the Q-tip, I'll be dipping that into the solver set, and I'll be applying the solver set using the Q-tip. And the other Q-tip I'll be using to soak up any excess water from around the decal. So I'm going to take you over to the desktop here, and I want to show you the figure, close up with the decals on. All right, now the figure on the right is the figure that this is going to be the new Ezekiel Elliott. The figure on the left is the first Ezekiel Elliott that I've done. And as you can see, the figure on the right is coming to life. You see the shoulder numbers. You got the helmet chap right here. Okay, and you can see the NFL emblem right there on the collar. All right, and you see the shoulder stripes, all right, with the Nike swoosh over here. Let's clear out our screen. We don't want to get too jumbled. And when you look at the shoes, right, you see the shoestrings and the Nike swoosh. Okay, so this figure is coming together nicely. All right. Let's clear this out. And we're going to close that picture, and we're going to get another one here. Okay, here is figure again. And you see the figure on the right. That's way too big there. Let's bring it down some. All right. Figure on the right, again, is the new Ezekiel Elliott. Now, if you look at the pants on the figure on the right, the blue is a little bit changed a little bit on the pants. Why? Because that matte finish that I put on top of the decal. So it took some of the luster out of the ice blue. All right. See, the Ezekiel Elliott figure on the left, I didn't use any clear coat. And I want to show you this. See that shoulder number right there? Or the stripe on the shoulder? The decal is starting to come off. It broke off and it fell away from the figure, because on that figure I didn't use any clear coat. I used the solver set. All right. Along with that clear coat, you cause I lost my Nike symbol here when I put the clear coat on that new Ezekiel Elliott figure. The clear coat has the toluene chemical in it, and that Nike swoosh decal is very fine. It's very small. The clear coat that I put on there, it kind of rubbed it away a little bit. So I'm going to have to reinstall a new Nike swoosh decal. I'll do that offline later. Let's close this one out. And let's see, this is another picture here. Okay, different side. And again, you look at the new Ezekiel Elliott figure, its pants, you'll see a different color of ice blue. It's a little bit lighter. It's not as, icy blue, if you will, compared to that of the Elliott figure on the left. And again, the shoulder stripe over here toward the front near the Dallas Star, that stripe is peeling away from the figure because I didn't use the clear coat on it. Let's go to the next photo here. And here's the rear of the figure. All right. You see the name on the jersey. And you see the stripes on the helmet, shoulders, what have you. Okay. Blow it up a little bit for you there. Okay. Close that out. We're going to go to some other photos here. Now, I want to show you some close-ups of the figure as I was putting it together. This is about a week ago when I was putting these decals on. And here is the close-up of the helmet with the chap, the helmet chap, Cowboys chap, and the stripe. Now, this picture right here is before I put the solver set on. This is just decal and water. That's it. This is the initial install. Let's go to the next one. Top image. Now, if you look right here at the back of the helmet, as I was handling the decal, when I pulled it out of the water, the decal ripped a little bit. So I lined up the torn edge of the decal as best I could. See, the microscope picked it up. To the naked eye, you wouldn't see that rip. All right. Let's go to the next picture. And if you look like a little bit up here, you can see how the decal is not smoothly laid down on that part of the helmet. That's because the solver set hasn't been applied yet. Close that one. Next picture. Okay, now here's the back of the helmet. And there's that rip again that you can see. Tried to line it up again. Tried to line it up as best I could to cover that rip up. But again, to the naked eye, you wouldn't see it. And on the back here, also on the back of the helmet, you see the Cowboys chap at the base of the helmet. And this is also before the clear coat. So you can see, going back to the helmet again, you can see the shine in the helmet, right? After I put the clear coat on, that sheen was lost, all right? But it's not a big deal. I think I kind of like that rustic look a little bit on this uniform. Let's go to this picture. And this is the right leg, the stripe on the right leg. This is before the solver set, and before the clear coat. All right, let's close this one. And here's the left leg stripe. So these leg stripes, by the way, you know, the decal manufacturer, these particular decals, by the way, are by B-Nut. And all the decal manufacturers, they give you a little bit more stripe, so you got to trim the stripe to fit the portion of the figure that you want using your scissors, what have you. All right. So let's close this one. And there is the NFL emblem on the chest. And there's a little bit of hair, a little bit of lint in there. Wow. Okay. There's a little bit of lint in there. All right, I'm gonna have to look at that again. Look closely at that. It might not be a big deal if I can't see it with the naked eye. But once again, the microscope picks that up. I'm gonna clear it out. Let's close that. Now we're going into how the figure looks after I use the solver set. And here's the helmet again with the solver set. Now it looks a little smoother. All right. So this is the top view where you see the top of the helmet. You see how the stripes on the helmet, they lay down really well. It's really smooth. They lay down perfectly on the helmet. And you look to the left. Well, if you look to the right of the stripe, you see the cowboy symbol on the helmet there. It's conforming to the surface of the helmet. And you got the shoulder numbers. All right. And the name Elliott on the back of the jersey. Okay. And let's go to this picture here. Now this is before. Now this is the solver set without the clear coat. All right. And here's a closer picture of the shoulder, and you see the number 21. You see the Nike swoosh and the sleeves, the stripes on the shoulder there. All right. And of course the Dallas Star on the helmet. And the solver set makes it possible for the decal to conform. If you look at the white portion, the jersey of the figure, you see those little knots, those little dents and little bumps on the figure. The solver set helps your decal to conform to those little imperfections in the sculpt. Again, this figure was sculpted. I've sculpt modified this figure using clay. All right, with a traditional plastic figure without the sculpt, the surface is a lot smoother. So the smoother the surface, the easier the decal will adhere to the figure, to the surface of the figure. Okay. Close that one, and we're gonna look at the other shoulder. Okay. This is the other shoulder. Now this is the shoulder where the Nike swoosh got rubbed off when I used the clear coat. So I'm going to have to install. I'm going to have to get another Nike decal and install a new decal on that shoulder. I'll do that offline. Okay. And you see the edges. If you look closely here, you can see the edges of the decal and how it lays down on the figure. No, I didn't want to do that. Close that. Clear that. Okay. Close that. And here's a close-up of the shoe. This is a decal for the shoestrings, and you see the Nike swoosh decal right here. All right. Nike swoosh. So we'll close this. And this is the other shoe. All right. Shoestrings and a Nike swoosh. Now, Along with the decal that we're going to apply on the front and back of the jersey, we also are going to install a face mask. Now, this is the face mask that I intend to use for this Ezekiel Elliott figure, because that mask resembles the mask the real Ezekiel Elliott wears. Okay, I have a picture of another mask that I was considering, this one here, right? This was the mask that I used on the first Ezekiel Elliott figure. Okay, the last mask you saw, I like this one better also because it's got the double bars at the top right here, so it gives me more play when I put my glue in there. The glue has a little bit more surface area to hold on to, so when I put the mask on, when I lay the mask on the figure, it'll have more surface area to stick to the figure. All right, so those are the masks, and this image right here are the face shields. So the real Ezekiel Elliott, he wears a face shield in his helmet, but it's not black. So depending on, it's a clear face shield. So depending on how the light hits it and the reflection that comes off of it, sometimes you can get like different colors in the mask. You get like a red, you get some purples, you get some blues in there. I'm going to put a little bit of changed blue paint on that mask shield to capture some light and perhaps get some color out of it. All right, I also got to trim it as well, because along with the decals, the manufacturer, these face shields, by the way, are from Game Day. All right, I'm going to trim this face shield because the Game Day gave us a little bit more material, so the face shield is a little bit longer than the face mask, and we don't want the whole face mask covered. We only want the eye portion covered. Okay, let's close this one out. So I matched it up. I matched those face shields up with the mask that I intend to use. So I have to maybe trim the bottom portion of that face shield so it doesn't come down into the lower part of the mask. All right, so that's where we are right now with bringing this figure to its completion. All right, and we're going to do that in this video today. All right, so I need to change sets. We're going to move over to the microscope, and we're going to begin installing these decals, these front and back decals and face masks onto this figure. And from there, we'll conclude. Well, one more thing. After I put the figure together, I'm going to run it. I'm going to let you see it run, fully done, and then we'll conclude. Then we'll end the video there. All right. So give me a moment to change sets, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I'm under the microscope now. What you're looking at is a close-up of the number 21 on the decal sheet, and using my scissors right here, I'm going to snip that 21 off the sheet. So you're gonna have to bear with me because we're gonna be zooming in and out under this microscope, and I'm gonna do the best I can to show you this decal. All right, so we're gonna move the decal sheet out of the way here, and I'm going to bring in the figure. Here's the back of the figure that we're going to apply the decal on. All right, see here, we're going to get it straight up as best we can. All right, here's the back of the figure, right? All right, so make an adjustment here a little bit. Yeah, so now we're going to take that 21 figure, we're going to cut that off of the sheet here. So give me a moment to make this cut, where actually I should have done a pre-cut actually. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to get this 21 off of this sheet. Bear with me here. I'm almost there. Gotta be careful not to cut the neighboring numbers, because I'm going to use those for other figures in the future when I start building the rest of this team. All right. Go around. Okay. Take the number off the sheet there. And here is 21 separated from the decal sheet. Now next, what has to happen, we have to put this into some water, which I'm going to show you in a moment. All right. There's 21. I want to trim that edge up a little bit next to the number 2. Okay. There. All right. So let's move the Ezekiel Elliott figure out the way for a moment, and we're going to bring in our water with the decal. We're going to put the decal in the water like this. All right. See if we can back off a little bit here without blurring it. Yeah, we lose it, so we're going to come back. Okay. So now we got to give this decal a moment to separate from the water. We can use our tweezers to help it out a little bit. Now, when the decal lifts from the sheet, you can let it float. And you see it separating right. Okay, let's move it back in here a little bit. We lost it. And you see it separating a little bit, right? I like to swish it around a bit. Okay. Let's see where it is. Where did it go? There it is. It's floating in the water, see? So now, I'm going to lift this out of the water, and I'm going to put this onto the figure. All right? So we're going to move this out of the way, and we're going to bring the figure back into the frame here. All right? There's the back of the figure. Now, when you lift these number sheets out of the water, you got to take care to not let the decal fold over on itself. You're going to place it on the figure like so, just like that. Now, I'm going to get my rubber pencil, and we're going to start to maneuver this decal a little bit. All right, but so you get the idea. I don't want to dry it just yet because I want to keep it wet so I can continue to move it. All right. So now I'm going to go offline for a moment, and I'm going to make some adjustments to this number, and I'm going to come back. So I got to move fast because I don't want this decal to dry. I'll be right back. Okay, I now have the decal number 21 applied to the back of the Ezekiel Elliott figure. I have not put the solver set on yet. I'm going to do the front number later offline. All right, so I'm not going to do the front number here in this video. But you saw how I put the decal in the water, and the decal separated, all right, from the backing sheet, and I was able to lay the decal onto the back of the figure. Well, this is how it looks. All right, so if I need to make an adjustment, I can apply some more water and slide it again, but you don't want to move it around too much once you after you get it wet. You don't want to move around too much, or at least you don't want to lift it anymore, because you can run the risk of tearing it. Also, after applying the solver set, you definitely don't want to move it or lift it, because the solver set, you know, it melts the decal a little bit to get it to conform, and that can make it rip if you try to lift it or move it again. All right, so that's the back of the figure with the number 21. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, we're back at the microscope, and now we're going to apply the face shields that I told you about. All right, and here they are. Here are the shields. So that our microscope come into focus again. All right, these are the shields. Now I have to take one of these shields. It's basically a sticker. So I have to remove one of these shields off the sheet. All right. I've already used a few of them on other figures. So I have to remove one of these stickers off the sheet, and I have to trim it a little bit for it to so that it won't take too much of the face mask away. All right. So I want to get it where I cover the upper portion of the face mask around the eyes of the figure. All right. And the tool I'm going to use for that is my straight edge nail clipper. All right, it's a toenail clipper. And I'm going to trim the bottom edge of this decal sheet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go offline for a moment to make this trim. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to lay this face shield onto the front of the figure. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back, and I have here the visor that I'm going to put on to the face of the figure. All right, I'm going to set it right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because it's so small, I'm going to have to move the figure away from the microscope and take it away from here, and then lay this visor over top, on top of the figure's face, as you see me holding it with the tweezers. All right, so give me a moment. I'm going to set my tweezers down, and I'm going to take my figure away for a moment. And while I'm doing that, I'll switch you back over to the image of the jersey number. So bear with me here. Have to get into some light and get my hands freed up so that I can put this this visor on. And I'm going to bring it back over to you just a moment. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to do the front jersey offline, like I said earlier. And we're going to paint this, put a little bit of paint on this visor also. Do that offline as well. Okay. Almost got it on. This visor is very fine. So you have to get it to sit smoothly on the figure here. Alright, it's a little bit off. Be patient with me here. So these decals are very, very small, as you already know, and it requires great patience when working with them. One time I dropped a decal somewhere on the floor, and it took a moment for me to find it. Okay, now I think I have it the way I like it. Okay. Coming back over to the microscope. Just a moment, I'm almost there. Be patient. Okay. All right. Switch back over. Okay. There is the visor on the figure. All right. Could use a little bit of adjusting. Now, what I intend to do before I put the face mask on top of that, before I put the face mask on top of this visor, I want to give it some color. All right. And I'm going to do that offline as well. All right. So, because if it were a black face mask, I could leave it like that. But Ezekiel Elliott's face mask is a clear mask, and it reflects, and it gets different colors. All right. So I'm going to put a little bit of paint on this mask, and I'm going to allow the paint to dry, and I'm also going to put the other decal on the chest, on the front of the jersey as well. And I'm going to come back, and we're going to talk about the face mask. All right. So give me a moment to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. What you're looking at now is you're looking at the visor on the face of the new Ezekiel Elliott figure. So remember, the visor was black when it came off the strip, right? So I trimmed it, and I'm stuck it to the face of the figure, and I added some paint to it. So the base color, you see some green in there, and then I took that change blue paint that I used for the pants, and I put that change blue on top of that green, and that's how you get those different colors in there. Get that silver, that blue, green type of look. And then when I put the face mask on top of it, which I'm going to do in a moment, all right, when I put the face mask on top of it, the face mask is going to cover up the edges, all right? I didn't go as far on the edges as you see right here. If you look at the bottom left corner, you still see some black, and the bottom edge, you still see some black as well. All right, the mask is going to cover that up. So before I put the actual mask I intend to use on the figure, right, I have a mask here. It's a mask that I used in the previous figure. I want to just hold it up to the piece and see how it looks. And I also want to, this is also a rehearsal as well, because once I use that Loctite glue, there's no coming back. So the plan is to put the mask on the figure. Now under the microscope, I can't really get to it the way I want to. You see? So let me go this way. Let me go on the other side here. Grab it from the top and lay it on the figure like that. I also want to find the right bend for this. I need to bend these face masks. So it's going to give you an idea of how the mask is going to look on the figure. All right. This is only a rehearsal mask right here. I didn't pull the actual mask yet. I just want to lay it on here, see if I can get it to stay. All right. Trying to get it a little bit better. Okay. You see how that looks? So when I put the actual gray mask on, you see how the colors is coming through? And I trimmed the visor just right so it won't pass. The visor won't go down into the bottom of the mask. Okay? So look, I'm gonna go and put this mask on. I'm gonna have to do that offline. And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you the completion of this mask, all right? I'll be right back. Okay, there it is. The face mask and the visor all placed onto the helmet. And you can see, if you look at the visor, you can see the change in color, how it captures the light. Got a little bit of green in there, you got a little bit of change blue, some silver. As far as the face mask goes, you know, I'm still working on trying to get my skill up with putting on face masks, because when you use that Loctite glue, you know, and you place the mask on the figure, you know, you gotta like get it positioned before the glue dries. So I think I put the mask up maybe a touch bit too high, you know, but for the most part, you know, it looks good enough. You know, the microscope is going to show all the flaws. So I have that done, and I also got the number on the chest, on the front of the figure, and you already saw me put the number on the back of the figure. I still have to put do the solver set on both the jersey numbers on the front and the back. And I also replaced the Nike swoosh on the shoulder here. See if I can get that to come in for you real quick, because remember I told you earlier, one of the Nike swooshes it came off when I put the clear coat on the shoulder, and it's that swoosh right there. So I put another one on. So I gotta put some solver set on that one, and I gotta do a small amount of clear coat there. And after that, we're gonna run the figure. We're gonna put it on the board and we're gonna watch it run. One more thing about these face masks is I didn't put a chin strap on the figure. We do have chin strap decals. I didn't buy a pack of those. I usually don't put chin straps on my figures. But yeah, I think on this one I might just do that. Cause the mask, I didn't put the mask. I should have, like I said before, I should have brought the mask down just a touch more. But for the most part, it's all good. So we're going to move over to the game table. I'm going to switch sets and go up to the game table, and I'm going to show you the solver set application and the clear coat application. And then, like I said earlier, we're going to run the figure, and that's going to conclude this video. All right. So let me change sets, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and we're at the game table here, and I have my solver set that we're going to apply to the jersey front and the jersey rear numbers. All right, we got the face mask on that you saw in the previous frame. And before I do that, before I show you the solver set application, I'm gonna take you over to the desktop and I'm gonna give you a close-up of what the figure looks like. Because for the most part, the figure is done. All right. Here it is. The figure on the right is my new Ezekiel Elliott figure. All right, and the figure on the left was the first Ezekiel Elliott figure that I had done. And as you can see, The shoulders are a little bit more broad. The legs are the same, right? And I did the shoe decals right here for added detail. Let's go to another picture here. Let's zoom this back. We don't want that. We want to zoom it back all the way and then switch it. There's a side view. Okay. Also changed the arms as well. See, the original Ezekiel Elliott figure, the right hand was carrying the ball, so I switched over to the left hand as the ball carrying arm. All right. And you can see how with the solver set that I used so far on the shoulder stripes and the pant stripes, how the decals conform to the curvature of the figure. Those are the most important areas to use solver set on, is the curved parts of the figure, because you need that decal to conform. You need the decal to wrap around the shoulders for better hold. I mean, honestly speaking, on the chest and the back, on the chest and the back number, I can hold off on the solver set because that's a flat surface, and that decal will hold on pretty good. But I'm still going to put the solver set on there, and after that solver set dries, I'm going to put the clear coat on. All right, and if you look at the pants, before I go on, if you look at the pants, I put the clear coat on the pants stripe right here. By adding that clear coat, it took away some of the sheen that the ice blue paint gives. I said that earlier in the video, but you get a closer look at it. If you compare the pants to the new Ezekiel Elliott figure to the first Ezekiel Elliott figure, you'll see a difference in color in the pants. But that color is pretty much, Cowboys pants color. All right, let's move to another one. Here's the other side of the figure. All right. For the most part, I'm pretty much, pleased with my work. Still a lot more work to do, a lot more learning to do, because I've only been sculpt modifying for about 2 years now. I've been playing this game my whole life, but this is a new thing for me. Actually detailing a figure and making it look like something else. So I'm still getting my weight up in regards to this technique here. All right. And here is the back of the figure. All right. The helmet is a little bit larger than the original helmet. See, this helmet, by the way, is from ITZ, the same company that makes bases. They have a figure line as well. So I took the helmet from ITZ and I applied that to this game day figure. All right. As you can see, the helmet is a little bit larger as well. That larger helmet, let's back it up right to the beginning here. That larger helmet kind of stretched it kind of pushed the envelope on the face mask, because the face mask really is a bit too small for that helmet. But I made it work. I got some other photos here I want to pull up. Let's see what we got. Where is it? I have pre-decal. Okay. So I thought I had some other photos here. No, I don't. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go over to the game table, back to the game table, and we're going to apply our solver set. All right? So here we have our ball of solver set, and I have a Q-tip. Okay? Now, although the solver set has a small brush in there, I don't want to use that brush on the figure. The brush is too broad for the figure. I just need to get a little bit of solver set on the tip of this Q-tip and apply it to the number. So give me a moment here and let me open the bottle. All right, so what I'm gonna do, move figure over. So the way I do it, I open the bottle very carefully and I dip my Q-tip in the bottle and I wring out the Q-tip just a little bit. All right, and I want to close this bottle back. Now, there are horror stories. You know, we open the bottle of solver set and I say knock it over and you spill it. So here we have the figure and we take the Q-tip and we lightly touch the decal. And what you want to do when you apply these decals with the water, right? You want to give that decal time to dry. And I'm going to take the other end of the Q-tip and I'm going to dab it a little bit and soak up any excess solver set, right? I'm going to flip it over. Take the same Q-tip end and touch the front of the figure around the numbers, all right? You don't want to drag it. You want to dab it, all right? All right, take the dry end of the Q-tip and touch the chest. And remember that that Nike swoosh I had to replace? I want to do that here too. Touch the shoulder a little bit, all right? So now, we're going to let the figure dry, which shouldn't be long at all right? Now this paintbrush I'm going to use that on the flat, on the matte finish coat. And pretty much that's self-explanatory, because it's just like painting. You take a little bit of the flat finish, let's back it off a little bit here. Take a little bit of this clear coat, be it a gloss coat or a flat coat, which this one is, and you put a small amount in the area where you want it to go. You don't have to slather it on. Put a very thin coat on, and that coating will protect the decals, and it will protect them for a long time, well beyond a year. It may last years. Unless, remember earlier in the video I talked about how if you don't use the clear coat, your decals will begin to lift after about maybe a year and a half. All right. And if you don't do anything to the decals but use water, your decals may start lifting after about maybe a couple of days. Once that solver set dries, if the solver set is not on that decal. All right. So basically, what you're doing is you're applying the decal after soaking it in the water, right? You lay it on the figure, dry up the water, let the decal dry. Then you come behind that with a coating of solver set, let that dry, and then you come behind that with your finish, your gloss or your flat finish to seal the decals, to seal and or protect the decals. All right. So now I'm going to do the clear coat offline, and I'm going to clear off the game table here because I was doing inventory again. So I got to get the game table cleared off because I'm going to show you the figure and how well it runs. I already got a base tweak for it already. So I'm going to put that base on, put this clear coat on the numbers here, get it all dry, and we're going to run it, we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it run. All right? I'll be right back. Okay, we got the new Ezekiel Elliott figure on the board here, and I have it mounted on ITZ Formula 37 base, which, by the way, I'm going to do some modifications to it as well, because this base and figure configuration is a little bit too heavy, so I got to take something off of this base, or perhaps another one, so we can get the figure below 4 below 4 grams. All right, let's go ahead and run them. Okay, not bad, not bad. Good speed, good speed. Didn't run the distance, but that's a good look. Let me put it in right here where you guys can see it at from this end. Let's run them. All right, still loops a little bit. There's a chance that this base might not be on this figure anyway. Might put it on a cornerback or something like that, perhaps a safety maybe. Let's run them again. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. All right, so there you have it. This is the my new Ezekiel Elliott figure on the right, and that's the guy you saw on the table. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Mo. Thanks for watching.